you spoke about your unhealthy relationship with food, and you brought up bulimia, you brought up binge eating, and I know that was something you dealt with in college. What were those moments like, and what made you comfortable enough to share that?
Ooh, yeah, so I was a track athlete in high school and in college, and so I was always like the bigger, muscular girl. Like I could go down and do 10 push-ups and look like a Roblox character. Like I would just gain muscle mass so
I heard one time you
easily.
said you did 10 push-ups and looked like Dwight Howard.
Yeah,
She
well,
did.
actually,
We call it boulder shoulders.
boulder shoulders. I actually met him. He was at a tryout at SummerSlam a couple of years ago, and he was like, "Let's take a picture together." And I was like, "Yeah, cool." He's like, "Wait, we got the same shoulders." I was like, "I know, we look like two Roblox characters. It's all good." So we just like taking a picture. But I was always like the bigger, muscular girl. So they always told me you can run faster if you just need to lose weight. Like my weight was always an issue in high school, all throughout college. And so, you know, no one pushed me to do this. I was just always somebody that was like wired to just go all in. Like I was waking up every single morning in high school doing 1,000 abs and 500 push-ups a day. Like people thought I was lifting weights. I wasn't. And so I was just trying to get faster. I wanted to get a scholarship. I wanted to get out of East Knoxville. I wanted to go out in the world and see new things and meet new people. And I wanted to be an Olympic track athlete. And so I was dieting and I lost weight, but then I plateaued and I couldn't break through that. I just wanted to run faster. So I started seeing food as like my enemy. And I was trying to like starve myself. That wasn't working because I'm an emotional eater. And so I started throwing my food up. And it was like no one knew. Like I was able to hide it. I was throwing my food up in high school, mostly like my junior and senior year. And then I got a scholarship. So I'm like, okay, this is working. I got a full scholarship to an all SEC school, University of South Carolina. And before I went, I was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore, I'm gonna quit. But by that time, my pattern with food was so unhealthy. So when I got to college, I started binge eating, alone in my room at night, just like couldn't stop eating. And then I would either throw it up that night or keep it. And then the coaches are just like, what's happening? Where's the girl from high school? So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I need to go back to doing that again. Then they're putting me on 6 a.m. cardio in the mornings. And so it's like, now I'm tired. Then I'm sad. I go eat again. And then either I throw it up or I keep it. Then I go do cardio again. Now I'm not running fast at all. My body is just so messed up and I'm hating food. So I ended up having to transfer from there because the coach is just like threatened my scholarship basically. And so then I transferred and went to Texas A&M. And I tried to, do the same thing. Like I started training in the summer and I got in shape, and then things started just crashing down because when I was in college my freshman year too, I got depressed because my identity was attached with track, and how I performed was how I thought of myself as a person. Like, oh, you just slow, you're gonna have to go back home to your hometown and you're a failure and you're slow. And I just got like super depressed. This 8-year-old girl who's like from this small little inner city into college and just young and just all messed up. And so I got put on antidepressants and medication. So when I transferred my sophomore year to Texas A&M University, I was like, I'm stopping it. Again, this is a fresh new start. I'm stopping my medication. I'm gonna train, do all of this. Well, I got in shape, everything was going good, and then everything just like started falling apart. And I just felt like I was trying to like reach this finish line, and the finish line just kept being moved. And I couldn't explain what was going on, and I was isolating myself. Like I would be in a room with people, like a group of people, and they would be talking, and I would just not say anything, and like this is what it would be like if I wasn't here. Nobody doesn't even notice I'm not even engaged in the conversation. Like it doesn't even matter if I'm here or not. So it's just like these weird things were happening in my head. And one day my coach just asked me like, are you okay? And I was like, no. And I just broke down crying. And I ended up in a mental hospital for about a week. My parents had to come down. I had to tell them everything that was going on. And it was that moment actually that like helped me break through once I like opened up to my family. Because my family's always been like the biggest supporters of me. Like they have never missed a track meet, any band like whatever concert, they've never missed anything. So they've always been super supportive, but they had no idea what I was going through. So once I opened up to them and they're like, just come back home. I was like, I don't want to come home. Come back home. We got you. Just come back home. And so I went back home. I quit track. I was like, I don't want to run track anymore. They got me, come to find out, you're not supposed to stop your medication like cold turkey. You have to wean yourself off of, and that's what happened. So they got me back on it. They weaned me off the correct way, put me in therapy. I'm a big advocate for therapy and counseling. Got myself back together, and shout out to my coach at Texas A&M, Vince Anderson. He was the one person that he pulled me off the track team at a time where I felt like track was all I had. And he was just like, until you get it up here, you can't get on this track because this is what's most important. More important, you scoring points for us, it doesn't matter. So he was the first one to put my mental health first. And then I went to the University of Tennessee, got myself together, went back home, and I was trying to walk onto the track team. And like no other college wanted me, nobody wanted to give me like no play, nothing. And I was like, oh man. And at the time, Heather Van Norman was the coach, it's Odell's mom.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the person that was like, come on a track team, like come walk on. You have to sit out this year. There's nothing that you can do for us. You can't score for us. You can't even compete for us, but I'll train you for a whole year. And she got nothing out of it. And she was the one that really like started turning my life around. And then after she left, Sharon Couch was the next coach that came, and she was more of like a life coach than a track coach. And she invested into me not just as like an athlete, but as a person. So I've had all these people that have invested into me when it comes to like my food health, my mental health, that all like contribute to the person that I am now. And so that's kind of like my journey with food, and like that's what I was feeling when I was doing that competition in the show, where I was like, I am having these triggers again where I'm thinking about food constantly, and I feel myself going back to like wanting to go into like the pantry and just eat, and I can't stop. And I was like, this is not good. I need to pull back and refocus. So